Plaintiff Rachel Boucher says the defendant is her daughter. And although she is very nurturing, she makes some bad choices when it comes to men. Rachel is suing her daughter for an unpaid loan and emotional distress. Defendant Jessica Tepper admits that she has dated some bad men, one of whom is now married to her sister. Jessica is countersuing her mother for emotional distress.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you, ma'am.
Well, Jessica is my daughter, obviously, and I just want to say I do love her very much. I'm the person that she calls when things get tough, and I'm always there. I'm her mom, I come to her rescue. That's what moms do, right? And in this case, she was in an emergency situation.
And don't feel bad about having to sue your daughter.
Your Honor, to be honest, this isn't the first time around.
There we go. The more and more you talk, the more and more we are alike in our children.
Yeah.
How many other times?
We're good parents.
That's right. Give me some more background on her debts and in the past.
Well, Jessica makes me very proud. She does a lot of great things. She's got a big heart. She's very nurturing. She's a nurse by trade, so that alone tells you she cares for people. Unfortunately, sometimes the choices that she makes for men and tend to be her downfall. And I kind of can't blame her. I didn't really start her off on the right track with that and my own mistakes. And her choice of men have been, just say a little less unsatisfactory. And
to her or to you?
Well, to me at first, and then to her after the fact.
You as well, young lady?
Only certain ones, Your Honor.
The one that's still around is mom.
Now married to my sister.
Whoa.
A guy you used to date.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
This case doesn't have anything to do with that particular person.
No, I've picked some pretty bad ones, and I've picked some also other ones that my mother would take out on motorcycle rides with and without me. You know what I mean? It goes all over the place.
Hold on.
Yes.
I'm sorry. So sister's going with one of your ex-men, and mama rides the other ones on the back of the motorcycle.
No, alongside. They each had their own motorcycles.
Oh, alongside each other. Okay, that's a big difference. See, I'm glad I got clarity.
These rides are with mom's husband too, so.
Okay, good. And why don't you tell me about your relationships and things that your mom might not like that were a result of bad choices?
My ex was probably the worst one.
What was his deal? What was he abusive or something?
It was a very toxic relationship.
Okay. All right. How does she owe you $4,000?
Well, she's in the middle of her divorce. And when the emergency situation came where she had to get back to Connecticut, we helped get her here. And then shortly after that, she needed to get filing done for her court costs. So against my husband's wishes, I loaned her the money.
Why was your husband against it?
Well, because he's done we as a couple really have helped her out financially a lot. It's been an ongoing, I would say, a carousel of money going out, some coming back in, mostly going out.
Okay, you loan her money to get a car, get her car fixed, to get clothes, or to get your lights turned back on. But this is divorce, so I think that's a different category. That might have been the only time that she should perhaps have said, okay, this is the time we do. We probably shouldn't have in the past, and we won't anymore once she gets out of this. Just trying to understand your thinking on that.
I've always been the cause of a lot of their fights, Your Honor.
Over what? What type of debt?
It's just Jessica always needs something. Jessica needs this. Jessica needs that. And people.
But anything as important as a lawyer for a divorce?
No, but when they're just trying to start their lives and here I am still needing stuff at 32 years old.
Okay.
And her choice of men have been, just say a little less unsatisfactory. And
To her or to you?
Well, to me at first, and then to her after the
To you
fact.
as well, young lady?
Only certain ones, Your Honor.
The one that's still around is mom.
Now married to my sister.
Whoa.
Defendant Jessica Tepper is being sued by her mother, who claims Jessica has made some bad choices when it comes to men.
I got news for you. I have 4 children. They're all professionals, 2 lawyers. One works for the United States Senate. One is a producer. They all have needs. Don't feel hesitant to ask to be rescued from a financial bind from your parents at any point. Now, they can make their own judgments, and I do. Now I send them to my granddaughter, Nora. I say, y'all got to go through her, because she says no to everything, so I knew what I was doing. I said, if she says yes, then you get it. So I know she says no to everything. Could you ask Granddad if we could? No! Into that, so you got to find a better way.
Yeah.
But no, ma'am, the point I'm making, you got the point, and that is you're going to continue helping us. I'll promise you that. And so that was the time. I'm just not passing judgment, just providing a little insight that you can take home to hubby, that you can tell him the judge said.
Honestly, Your Honor, we were paying money to get her here, and we got her here from another state. And then once that happened, it was like, okay, she's back to work. She's on her own. She's holding her feet. And we get another call for money. And at that point, he said, she's going to go back. You know, she's going to go back.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, after I'd already paid this money out to the judge, she did take him back. And it lasted only about 2 weeks, but it was a lot of stress and a lot of arguments between me and him because we'd already put out so much, and then she took him back, and with the
I
promise.
understand now. So when was the money given or loaned, and when were you to be repaid?
So on Wednesday, April 7th, I received the text message that the attorney needed the money that day to do the filing. Well, page 1 is your text message from her asking me for the funds. Page 3 is the evidence of my credit card transaction receipt of the $409 for the attorney. And then her promise, which was also on page 1 of that evidence, was that she'd be able to pay me that Friday, which was her payday 2 days later. She's a good kid. She just makes a few bad mistakes here, and it tend to be around men.
I have no more car, Your Honor, now, because after I borrowed all this money, I went and crashed my car. I have really bad luck. I just, life has not gone my way ever. And it just is always something.
Do you owe the money? And
I do.
okay, and what's your
I'm just trying to
counterclaim?
keep a roof over my kid's head at this point.
Okay, and what's your counterclaim for emotional distress?
I can't do anything right. And, you know, I've struggled my entire life, and I'm trying really hard to get ahead. And no matter what I do, it's always wrong. You know, I came here, I'm starting over, and I'm trying to, you know, stop crying every day and get up out of bed every day. And so for instance, on page 1, I brought my children to one of my friends' houses, and we had s'mores around a bonfire. I came home, I put them to bed. They were in bed by 8:00. You know, it was a school night. I get a text message. Aren't you supposed to be the responsible parent? What are they doing out this late? And I'm like, Mom, I'm 32 years old and these are my kids. And they're in bed.
And that's what the emotional distress is for?
It's been my whole life. I'm the black sheep. I'm the one that the room gets quiet when somebody walks in, and I walk in the room, it gets quiet.
What I'm hearing is that you feel you've been looked down upon or looked at as inferior in your family, and that has cost you opportunity, that has cost you self-esteem issues. You feel that you're discriminated against in your household and criticized in your household. And when you walk in the room, you're looked at critically, almost to the effect of, what is she here for? Or why is she here? Or we have to adjust our conversation now that she's walked into the room. Pretty much, isn't that what you're telling me?
It sounds spot on.
Okay, and what do you think that's from?
My mistakes over and over and over and over again. With this man and this car crash and just, oh, Jessica's pregnant again.
How old were you when you were first pregnant?
21.
What troubles did you get into as a minor?
A lot.
Crashing cars.
Okay, so far all I've heard is she can't drive and she's gullible to men. What else? That's all I've heard so far. Okay, accidents and men issues.
She was rebellious.
Hanging out with the wrong crowd.
That's what I'm trying to hear. She was rebellious frequently.
I had a mouth.
Smoking cigarettes, had a mouth, was doing it her way or no way.
Was she skipping school, using drugs and fighting and violence and any of that?
Expelled.
For what?
Yeah.
Fighting.
How often?
That was the one big one.
She constantly had a personality clash in high school with somebody. And I used to ask her, I don't understand this. Why? Because to be honest, she's such a giving person in one side. And the other side is she's got that side that says, don't mess with me, because if you do.
Clashing all through high school.
I was terrible when I was a kid. I was terrible. And I've worked my whole life to try to fix that. I'm the black sheep. I'm the one that the room gets quiet when somebody walks in and I walk in the room, it gets quiet.
What I'm hearing is that you feel you've been looked down upon or looked at as inferior in your family.
Defendant Jessica Tepper is being sued by her mother, who claims Jessica has made some bad choices when it comes to men.
What did your parents do to try and help you as a minor when you were exhibiting the destructive behavior?
She tried really hard to stop.
How?
She would bail me out of jail. She would try to stand in front of the door and say, "You're not leaving," and I would push her out of the way and leave.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, you should have gotten counseling. Did you get counseling? Did you go for counseling ever?
Yes, Your Honor.
How often?
Weekly, I think it was.
Okay. And did they diagnose you as needing medication of some sort?
I think I was on antidepressants at one point, but I think I just stopped taking them.
Why?
Because I just don't like taking medicine.
Because she didn't think she needed them.
Show of hands. Who likes to take medicine?
No.
I always think I can do it on my own.
That's the problem, young lady. Your mother was doing her best, and you haven't lived up to your part. Your part is adhering to therapy as it has been prescribed for you, and you haven't. So I don't want to hear nothing about mom anymore.
She's been seeking help now as an adult. Our family unit has gotten better. I love this kid like you can't believe.
I don't think I'd be here still, Your Honor, if I didn't have my mom constantly picking me up.
But she does make me proud in a lot of ways. She's standing strong this time. I told her, it's just enough's enough. And this is part of tough parenting, having to go what we're doing today.
Okay. Well.
And every time I say, yes, I'll pay you back on Friday, Mom. I'll pay you back on Friday. And then all of a sudden my kid goes and breaks his glasses or my electricity gets shut off. And I can only give her like $20 or I can only give her $40 or, it's not like I'm not trying to do anything. It's just, I'm just trying to stay afloat.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to deny your emotional distress because your mom hadn't done anything to you that is considered extraordinarily damaging and distressful, so I can't grant you a judgment on that. I am going to grant her judgment for the loan you agreed that you owe. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Just so you know, I do love you, and I am proud of the strides you're making right now. And the things that you've done recently in the past, I just wish that you had never met that man.
Makes two of us.
Plaintiff Veda Elam met the defendant through her nephew, and they rented an apartment from her. But once she and the defendant started dating and having sex, he stopped paying rent. She's suing for the unpaid rent and cleaning fees. Defendant Jason Haynes admits he and Veda got together a few times, but he says they were never dating. Jason insists he was paying his rent to Veda's nephew, so it's not his fault he wasn't giving her the money.
Start with you.
Sir, it's unfortunate I came on your show last year because I was on the show with my ex.
Oh, okay. Was you sue happy?
No. I just want justice.
All right.
Yeah, and so he
How
did
many
me
other
wrong.
judges you been to?
No, just you. Only you. I'm loyal to you.
Well, you just here to see me then. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. I'm 60 years old. Maybe when I was 30, you'd have been coming to see me. 40. Go ahead. Now you come to see Doyle.
That's right.
Yeah. And so I'm back again. I'm here with Jason, with Coach, and I had to learn the hard way that I can't mix finance and romance together. So I had met Jason a while back in August of 2019, and we started hanging out. I met him through my nephew. We were cool. We were hanging out, maybe drinking, having some libations, smoking, having a good time. And we started to hook up around my birthday, around October of 19. We started dipping off, having some sneaky links and stuff, but no one knew, and I didn't tell my nephew. We dated for a while, maybe about some months until February of 2020.
Why didn't anybody know?
Because I met him through my nephew, so I didn't want to tell my nephew. We all.
Your nephew don't want you to be with a man?
I mean, it's family. You know how nephews.
He don't want you to be with his friend.
There you go. That part. And
But
so.
you know his friend is no good, so that was a sign right there. You thought my nephew don't want me to be with that man. That was a sign.
Okay.
You say because he wouldn't want me to be with him because he's probably low down. That should have been your analysis.
That should have been my sign.
Otherwise, your nephew will recommend a person that he thinks is up to snuff or of your caliber. So let's keep that in mind.
Yes.
All right. So you didn't want your nephew to know, and that's why you kept it a secret until February. And what went down in February? How did any folks find out?
Valentine's Day. Every woman wants a Valentine's Day gift.
All right. So
I didn't get a Valentine's Day. And he was like, "Oh, V, I got you. Don't worry." But Wendy's 4 for 4, that doesn't count. He could have took me to a nice restaurant. And then after that, we stopped fooling around,
Relationship couldn't have been that important to you, Doc. You lost out to a hamburger.
It's okay. It's
You
okay.
found a hamburger more important than you.
Without a
I
doubt.
don't know how much pride that gave you. All right. So you quit him over a hamburger.
It's family. You know how
He
nephews.
don't want you to be with his friend.
There you go. That part. And
But you know
so.
his friend is no good. So that was a sign right there. You thought my nephew don't want me to be with that man. That was a sign. You
Okay.
say because he wouldn't want me to be with him because he's probably low down.
Defendant Jason Haynes is being sued by his former landlord, who claims once she and Jason started having sex, he stopped paying rent.
You give me some background.
My name is Jason Ricks Haynes. My friends and fans call me Coach.
What fans are those?
I used to be in music, and I also play sports. So I have a couple fans that know me as Coach. Doing the music and as well as sports.
All right. Your music fans, let me hear about that.
I actually met Booby doing music promotions as well as political promotions. He told me
You
that.
were a singer? I'm trying to figure out what I
No.
missed.
I owned the label Shot Made Entertainment. I rapped. I had a couple R&B artists.
You're a singer, a rapper?
Yeah. I rapped and I had a couple R&B singers.
Okay.
I don't want to say I sing, you say hit a note, and I hit a note like Martin.
Actually, that I'm just trying to figure. I feel bad. That's all. I feel bad.
Yes, sir.
That a brother has some music out
Yes.
that was obviously a hit because you don't get fans until
Yeah.
you have a hit.
Okay. I should have said family and friends. But
Oh,
I said
right.
friends.
That's what you had.
I
Now
chose
you
to
had me
remix
really
that.
worried. I keep up. I
chose
thought
to remix
you start making me feel bad. All right. I was going to get my swag back. Say, you don't know what you're talking about, Jeff. You ain't even hip to my man. So I understand now. That's good that your family and friends supported you. Good,
Yes.
good to hear that. And you've given events for politicians, elected officials, or candidates?
Yes, sir.
Here,
Grassroots
what
program.
city? Here in Chicago or where?
Most of my work is in Chicago, but I've also ventured to Indiana, cities abroad, but I do most of my work right here in
And you
Chicago.
promote fundraisers for them or something, or what?
Not really lost in the fundraising, but just the grassroots, getting signatures and getting them on the ballot. And then if they give me the opportunity to support their campaign, I will go further and push the campaign.
Who? Tell me.
I definitely work for Rahm Emanuel as well as Bruce Rauner. A lot of my more prideful campaigns, I work for Danny Davis.
There you go. It's important that we work and support elected officials because, and then we hold them accountable afterwards because they set the policies that determine our lives.
Yes, sir. Yes,
That's
sir.
the only reason we should support them.
Okay.
Vote and make your decisions based on how those policies will affect you, your family, and your community. All right. So thank you once again. And your career has been primarily in that area?
As of right now, I work for Ford, but yes,
Okay,
my career since a youngster, I've been a junior spokesman for the No Dope Express Foundation.
Excellent.
And when I became of age, my basketball career didn't work out. I started giving back to my community, mentoring and coaching kids like my coach and mentor did for myself.
Thank you. And how do you know her nephew?
I met Booby around 2018, 2017. We were doing a lot of music promotions together, and he brought it to my attention that he had a solid building that his auntie owned, and he told me that he could use a roommate. So I was staying place to place at the time, having problems with the mother of my child. So I actually stayed with Booby for a matter of months.
Okay, now let me stop you and let her pick up there because she's suing about the tenancy situation. So let me allow you to resume with the lease.
Yeah, my nephew came to me and was like, I need a place to stay. I had a building, and so I says, I got a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. You guys can sign a lease, $600. I gave them a sweet deal. They agreed to pay $300 a piece. That was in August of 19, a 1-year lease, and everything was going fine. But when we started dating around October, November, he stopped paying rent.
Y'all were dating?
Right, we were dating, so I don't know if he thought,
Yeah, he was paying rent.
That's probably where he got that from. That's probably where he thought.
Short, doctor. Yeah, they don't go that way.
Yes, sir.
If that's how you paying your rent, you got to be there every on call, doc. All right. I'm with you now. Go ahead. So, all right, I got you. He stopped paying once you all were dating, thinking that perhaps you all are a couple.
We had a couple of cocktails, John. I didn't know we were dating. I just thought.
Well, you really should have paid rent.
Yeah, we had a few sneaky links. But yeah, he stayed until June though with no rent. So that was 8 months. I was assuming.
Now,
for
what
rent.
were you saying the first month that he didn't pay?
I was like, okay, he.
Say to him. What did you say to him?
He was trying. I see he was, trying to, get things together. I will work with you.
Okay.
But then the second, third, fourth, it's like, okay, what are we doing now? Like, I still need to pay bills.
Yep.
So once that happened, my nephew had moved out. But Jason stayed. I came to him, was like, what are we going to do? He says, I'm going to work on getting you your money. And I think my nephew had left him responsible for this dog. And one day, I got a phone call from one of the tenants upstairs and said it's an odor coming from the basement. I got a video for you, Your Honor, but I want to tell you it's graphic. It's not easy on the eyes. I'm just giving you a heads up. I got a video for you.
What'd you do?
I got a video
I didn't
for
do
you.
nothing, Yana. I
gave you a
He
heads
did
up.
something gross?
Yes.
Not at all, Yana. To be honest, me and Booby were good friends. We were having differences, not just because of a dog. I didn't get along with his girl.
I know y'all talking about the dog smell. I'm having fun.
So
I'll
what
stop
I did,
right there. Go ahead.
And me not being a dog lover, I never felt responsible to take care of a dog. I never signed up to take care of the dog. I did tell her that I will try to meet ends meet on the odds that Booby wasn't giving her, because I was giving him $250 a month, and I was under the understanding that he was paying his auntie.
How many months did he pay?
He paid one.
Defendant Jason Hayes is being sued by his former landlord, who claims once she and Jason started having sex, he stopped paying rent.
Go ahead. What about leaving the dog, though? He moved out and left the dog with you?
He didn't move out. He was in and out. He was coming in and out of town, and he was staying at his girl's house from time to time. It was times that I came there and just the dog.
Who moved out first? Who moved their items out?
Like I said, me and Booby had a verbal agreement about me.
I know you say "like I said" because you're not answering the question I'm asking you. Once again, who moved out first?
Yes, I moved out prior to me knowing that Booby wasn't living there anymore. He was back and forth in town.
So that means you moved out first, sir?
Yes, I did. I moved out before
You're having a very hard time telling me, so I don't believe you.
I'm saying
now.
before I was aware that he was.
She said something different than she has, so I don't believe you unless you have evidence.
No, I'm just saying.
All right, you played word games with me. Do you have evidence that you moved out first?
I don't have any.
I know you don't. Go ahead, ma'am. So I'm going to go with you on that.
Yeah.
Play no word games with me.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I got evidence on page 2. They signed the lease. Both of their names are on there, and I saw Jason at the unit after my nephew moved out.
Sir, did you sign the lease?
Me and Booby did make a verbal agreement. I didn't know that he put me on the lease, but I was a roommate with him.
That's his signature.
Was he on the lease before he moved in?
He had a prior lease, and for the new year, he signed a new lease.
Okay, it expired, and this was a new one.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, with regard to the rent, sir, what do you say to stop not paying the rent?
Well, as I said, sir, I was giving Booby $250 a month.
So you paid it all?
I'm not gonna sit here and say I made every single month the rent on time.
How much do you owe?
I'm gonna say 3 out of those 6 to 7 months, I may have only gave him $200 sometimes, $150. I didn't have the whole $250.
What you just said, I'm gonna say maybe, perhaps, all of that. So that means you don't know. Let's see if you know.
I didn't receive any finances from Mr. Haynes from November of 19 until June of 2020.
The cleaning cost is for what?
Yes, because once the dog, on the video, it shows how the dog made piles of defecation.
Why do you think I want to see that?
On pages 6, 7, or 8 or 9. Why
do you think anybody wants to see that?
Yeah, I almost slipped and fell in that. I mean, I can't believe people live like that and did me like that. And I looked out for them.
You don't believe it. I don't want to believe it. You believe it.
I had to get a sterilization team and a special cleaning team.
How much?
And that was $13.85, Your Honor.
You have a receipt for that?
Yes, sir, I do.
I'll take that. Not
on page 5.
Video. This is reasonable. The amount of the cleanup. They were very detailed on what they had to clean, and I'm not watching no dog mess for you. Watch it. All right. So I'm going to grant you judgment because I believe you with regard to him failing to pay the rent. He has no idea, or at least he's not sure. And so I'm going to go with the one who is sure. Judgment for the plaintiff. Good luck to you both.
I wish you well on your endeavors in your rap career and your political career. You're a great person, and thank you.
I do want to apologize for any inconvenience. I thought Booby was taking care of you, being a child family. I did what I could for him, and we'll make up to break up at a future date.
Today, perform stereotypes, and they say, whatever else you might have said. It's time to rewind and check out this week's Judge Mathis Throwback.
Plaintiff Ashley McCrae started dating the defendant after they met online, and 6 months later, they got married. Ashley claims after they wed, the defendant became verbally abusive, and as a result, she became emotionally involved with other men. Ashley suing her estranged husband for damaging her property. Defendant Elijah Swartz says Ashley is nothing but a violent cheater. Elijah claims a few days after Valentine's Day, he saw text messages between Ashley and another man in which she confessed that she had planned to leave Elijah, and he denies owing her for anything.
Start with you.
Back in 2012, I met the defendant online, and 2 months later, he proposed, and 6 months later, we got married in May 2013. And then after that, that's when things changed. I noticed a different side of him. He was verbally abusive. At that time, I used to weigh 200 pounds, so I was in a transition of like losing weight. And he used to like call me the B word or fat, and I began to emotionally disconnect from him. And I started combining into other men and started dating, but it was nothing sexual between me and the men. After that...
What would y'all do?
Oh, we just...
Read the Bible.
Yeah, read the Bible or what?
No, we went to the movies. Like, I went home straight after. So it wasn't nothing that led...
You went home after, yeah.
Well, to my own place. It was...
Yeah?
I never, like, went home with them. I just went behind his back without telling him. Like, I would tell him that I was doing overtime.
Oh, you were lying?
Yeah, I was lying
about
to
what
him.
you were
Yes,
doing?
to him. Like, he never knew what I was doing.
Gotcha. All right.
I began...
So why are you telling the truth today?
Well, because he found out.
She wants to win?
Yeah.
No.
So let me just get this out the way real quick, because I know the judge know a lie when he hear it a mile away. That was what you're pretty much doing?
Yes, sir. Like,
all right.
Because he found out.
You're smart to do that, because you know, I'll figure you out.
Because when he found out, I was kind of blindsided, but I couldn't deny it because the text messages were there.
Plaintiff Ashley McRae says after she married the defendant, he became verbally abusive, and as a result, she became emotionally involved with other men.
Let me hear from him.
Your Honor, Ashley is my wife. We've been together since May of 2013.
How old are you guys?
22, Your Honor.
How old are you?
20.
Go ahead.
Well, Your Honor, she's a cheater and she's violent. I'll give you some examples. Like a few days after Valentine's Day, I decided to go through her phone. Found out that she was talking to another guy for a month.
Saying what type of things?
Pretty much how it was just gonna be the two of them and me out the picture.
Give me some examples.
Pretty much how much they were into each other, and when she was gonna leave me, and it was just gonna be the two of them. All of that, all of it.
Ma'am,
Yes.
you had planned to leave with that person?
Well, I planned to leave him.
For that person?
I wouldn't say for that person. We're just planning to leave him.
Y'all got me being nosy. This doesn't have anything to do with the case. What you suing him for, ma'am? And you all are still married?
Yes.
John.
What happened to the sport coat?
Oh, I know.
He's an afterthought now. Yeah. Where's he?
I don't talk to him anymore.
What happened?
Just didn't work out, I guess. It was just a one-time date, pretty much. And once he texted
Well,
him...
you told me a couple places you all had gone to.
It wasn't dating just one person. Like, no, I know it sounds bad. It wasn't one person. It was like, I think it was three.
So which one were you going to run off with?
The one that I worked with at the time.
Go ahead, ma'am. What else do you want to tell me about your marriage and then the damaged property you're suing your husband for?
Okay, I am suing him for $689. He damaged my dinnerware, table set, and laptop. In February, he punched my laptop. We got into a not physical, but like into an argument. And 2 weeks later, I came home. He went through my stuff, my phone. That's the incident that he went through my phone. And he's seen the text messages, and all of a sudden, I heard dishes clashing against the wall and on the floor. So I went to the kitchen, and I was like, stop. I was yelling at him. So I called the police. The police said there was nothing that they can do because it was a civil matter between him and I because we were married. Then I have pictures to prove.
That's it. Yes, the police were speaking of the malicious destruction of property, because had he put his hands on you, they certainly could have done something. But they were talking about the joint property that he was destroying. That's what they were referring to when they say they couldn't do anything. This is what, television or something?
Oh, that's my laptop, Heat Punch.
Oh,
that was
okay.
2 weeks earlier.
All right. And did you all resolve it?
Well, March 8th, he came back. He took me, I thought we made up at that point. He told me to get my nails done and feet done, and then he signed this promissory note agreeing that he'll take responsibility for his actions. And then after that, he just left.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, the laptop I feel wasn't my fault. We got into an argument. She rushed out the room trying to storm out. She bumped into a table. There was a bottle of water on the table. Spilled on the laptop. I don't feel it's my problem. I don't think I owe her for it. Like, she knocked water over her own laptop. Now it's messed up. I'm not gonna pay for it. And the table, yes, that was the same night. I went through her phone and found out that she was going out with another guy for about a month. So I got mad. I went, I destroyed our furniture, the dining room table, all the chairs, even the dish set.
How did you refer to it? You destroyed whose furniture?
Well, our.
I don't feel like...
Go ahead.
And I felt as if we purchased it when we were married, and I feel like I don't owe her for it.
Plaintiff Ashley McCrae says after she married the defendant, he became verbally abusive, and as a result, she became emotionally involved with other men.
Ma'am, see what happens when you're young? He knew the law and you didn't. Folks need to know the law when they get married. Every single thing that is accumulated during the course of the marriage is joint property. And you can't sue each other for joint property. It's his just as much as it is yours. But you have to divorce, and the judge will then determine how the assets are divided and who owes whom. So I'm going to have to dismiss your claim. If and when you all go to divorce court, then you can make your request for compensation. Hope that you all don't end up in divorce court. After all, like you say, you didn't do nothing. You just went out with what I thought was one guy, then it turned into two guys, then it turned into three guys.
And more.
Let's throw one more in there, make it even four. Claim dismissed. Have a good day.
I feel like you're wrong for cheating on me and seeing other men, and I don't think we could work that out. I think we just have to go our own ways.
I don't think I cheated on him, but the judge made his decision. It's final.
We recently spoke with plaintiff Ashley McCrae and defendant Elijah Swartz, who both told us that they finally divorced in 2019. Ashley also said that she was pregnant when she appeared before Judge Mathis, and now she and Elijah are working on co-parenting their 6-year-old daughter. Ashley told us that she enlisted in the Army in 2017 and is loving life. And Elijah says he too has a good job as a truck driver. We wish you both the best of luck.